You're listening to the Outer Banks This Week podcast, a place for people to hear what's going on up and down the beach and get the truth about what really goes on around the Outer Banks. So, here we go.
Thank you so much, Lexi. Outer Banks This Week podcast, y'all. This is episode 100. Episode 100. We have made it 100 episodes of this podcast. I know what y'all are thinking. You're like thinking to yourself, Justin, where you been? Justin, where were you last week? What happened to episode 100 happening last week? I actually got a text message from my buddy Adam. He's like, hey, man, where were you last week? And I'll tell you where I was. And I'm sure a lot of you already know if you are Facebook followers or if you are people that constantly look at different things Outer Banks related, especially on our website. It snowed here on the Outer Banks last week. Okay. The snow inhibited my movements. The snow kept me from doing a lot of things that I wanted to do. And I caught a lot of grief because I told some people, like, look, at church, give you an example. So at church, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, one of the members of my Sunday school class, her name is Miss Cassie Mount. Lovely girl, lovely person, wonderful husband, wonderful family. Anyway, she's the praise leader at the church. And anyway, we're talking about, she's like, I was talking about the things that I was praying for this week, and I said, I need this to happen, I need that to happen. And I said, Lord, please let there not be any snow. And she laughed, and she said, I'm praying for snow. And I looked back at her, so I guess, we're going to have ourselves a pray-off. Like pray-offs. Anyway, we laughed and joked about it, and then next thing you know, her sister, Kate, is our Sunday school teacher, and she comes in. She's like, how's everybody doing? I said, your sister and I are having a pray-off right now. And she goes, about what? And I was like, well, your sister wants it to snow. I don't want it to snow. And she goes, oh, I got to pray for the snow. And I was like, what? She's like, all right, well, we're just going to pray for thy will be done or something. Like, I can't remember exactly how Kate said it, but I was in the cute, let's not be combative sort of way. But it wasn't even combative. It was just out of fun. I mean, I'm not crazy about snow, but it is what it is. The kids had fun, and I'll talk about what happened to my oldest here in just a second. But that's where I was. I was cooped up because part of the reason why I don't like snow or ice or anything on the roads for that matter is because about 10 years ago when I was working in country radio, I was on my way to the radio station one morning. Clear morning. I mean, wasn't any thing that I remember there being any ice on the roads, just say it like that. And well, when I was coming across, I was heading into Nags Head from Manteo, going across the what we call the Pirates Cove Bridge. You may know it as the Washington Bomb Bridge. I was going across that bridge. I hit a patch of ice, and me not knowing how to drive on ice, never having had that problem, I hit the brake. That's just what I do. I started skidding out of control, hit the brake. Next thing you know, I'm staring at the side of the bridge. My truck caught traction, and I'm staring at that side of the bridge, probably doing, it felt like at least 30 miles an hour. It may not have been that fast, but that's what it felt like. I was going about that fast, and I'm praying that I don't go over the side. So ever since that day, and I'm obviously still here to talk about it, but ever since that day, it's like, you know what? If there's ice, anything on the roads, I don't care if DOT's been out there treating them for 2 weeks. This guy is not going. He's not leaving his house. He may run. I did go to the gas station while I was stuck indoors, or, the snow kept me from moving around. But for 2 days, I never left Wanchese. Didn't do it. I'd say Wednesday and Thursday of last week, I did not leave Wanchese. It was finally Friday when I came to the office for a little while to try to get some things done. And at that point, it was just not time. I just couldn't do the podcast. My boss actually texted me. He was like, hey, man, did you do a podcast this week? I was like, no. He's like, okay. So anyway, I apologize for not having done a podcast last week. Another reason why I'm now not too terribly crazy about this icy, snowy weather that took place is the fact that I now have a doctor bill that my son created by way of a broken wrist. Now, it's not like his wrist got all sideways and bones were shooting out of his arm. He left out of my house, and my house is literally 100 yards from my parents' house with a patch of woods separating us. Like, I can barely see my parents' house through the trees, but you can walk around the woods and end up in their yard. Long story short, my son took off out of my door. Day 2 of the snow was at Thursday, and he said, Daddy, I'm going over to my mom's house. I said, okay, just be careful. It's icy out there. You need to be careful. Take your time. Walk slow. You don't need to rush. Just take your time. Well, he took a spill in the snow, tried to catch himself, and when he did, he hairline fractured his wrist. And so that's created, let's see, when it's all said and done after ortho and everything like that, I'm probably going to be out a couple $100, if not more. I don't know. It depends on what insurance covers. My wife handles a lot of that stuff. So it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, this snow has cost me money in more ways than one. And it's like, no, see, that's the whole thing. Like everybody's like, oh, yay, let's go sledding. And that stuff's fun. And let's go throw snowballs and build snowmen. Yeah, that stuff's great. But then there's the side that people don't think about. Like, I have a job that requires me to be moving, and if I'm not moving around, I'm not getting paid. Or I'm just getting paid, but I'm not helping the company make money, if that makes sense. And I don't want that to reflect poorly on me. So again, like I said, it keeps me from being able to get things done that I need to get done. And I have to sit in one place, and it's just, I mean, some people are like, Justin, you need to sit still sometimes. Well, you know what? Okay, maybe you're right, but I don't, whatever. So, yes, the snow is gone. The snow is melting. I'm actually looking at my window right now. There's still some snow on the ground, but it'll be gone by the time this podcast comes out. Pray to the Lord it'll be gone. Oh, anyway, so that's my snow sob story. Yeah, if you like snow, I'm happy for you. This guy does not. All right, coming up in this episode of the podcast, I'm going to sit down with Coach Zach Alexander of Manteo High School's baseball team. He's got an event coming up in February. He's hoping that he'll get people to come out and attend, talk about his season. I know he's got a couple stud ball players out there that are looking quite strong for the season. So we're gonna interview him. He is actually Teacher of the Year from Manteo Middle School, and I believe he's their athletic director over there. But regardless, I'm going to go over to the middle school and interview him. So I'm sitting in the studio right now. So I'm going to pack up my gear in just a little bit and run over to the middle school and interview him and talk about all things baseball related here on the Outer Banks, because soccer's huge here on the Outer Banks. Baseball, back in like the late 90s, early 2000s when I played, man, it was we were a powerhouse. I mean, when I played baseball at Manteo High School, we were consistently ranked in the top 5 in the state for 3A schools. We were a solid team. Now, granted, there was no First Flight High School back then. It was just Manteo High School and Cape Hatteras Cape Hatteras Secondary School. There's the only 2 high schools. Now you got First Flight High School, and they got a new coach looking like he's going to be able to do some things with them. I mean, lots of things coming up on the horizon, baseball related, but we're going to start with Coach Alexander and maybe work our way out. We'll see what happens there. But anyway, I'm excited to go talk to him. News, again, the snow was in the news. I can't think of much else that was really like just jumping off at me, but I will tell you that for all things news related, you want to go to SamWalkerOBXnews.com, become one of his founders or whatever. I can't remember exactly what he calls it right now, but Sam Walker, I mean, if you have a question about the news, Sam is the answer. The Grand Slam, woo, Sam Walker. And he just had a birthday. What is he, 42, 43 now? Something like that. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He's married. That's my guy right there. Sam Walker. Love him so much. All right, Sam Walker, OBXnews.com. Hey, I want to thank Miss Sandy for coming in and hanging out with me on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, talking about the Special Olympics here in Dare County, as well as the polar plunge. She really puts a lot of time, a lot of energy, everything. Her all goes into the Special Olympics here in Dare County, and I appreciate her coming on and sharing with us more about what they're doing, what they've been up to over the last year, because she was on here with us a year ago, and just what their goal is this year for the polar plunge. You believe that I'll be out there plunging away. I'm thinking I'm going to try to get my buddy Barbecue Mike at Carolina Barbecue Company, Highway 64 in Manteo, to sponsor me again. He's good like that. Mike's a good guy. But yeah, so I really appreciate Miss Sandy being in here to talk about the polar plunge out there at Jeanette's Pier this coming year. It's going to be a sandy time. Ha ha ha. Beach, sandy, polar plunge. Okay, it was a dumb joke, but thank you, Miss Sandy. I appreciate you coming in. Captain Marty, goodness gracious, great balls of Marty. That sounded really bad. Captain Marty. Excuse me, Captain Marty. We're getting ready to launch off into some new things for him. We're going to have a meeting with him in the near future to get some things squared away, hammered down, and ready to go. Look, I got something out there for all you business owners. If you want to have a piece of Captain Marty and be a part of his fishing reports, his stories, his Saturday show we're fixing to launch, let me know. Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. It's Justin, my name, Justin, at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. And I will get you all set up to be a part of the captain. That's Captain Marty, his stories, his fishing reports, all right here online at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. You can click on the Captain Marty banner at the top of the page. You can click on his podcast page, everything like that. You can listen wherever podcasts can be heard. You can hear the captain. All right, we're going to take us a little quick break. I'm going to jump into some shout outs, but hey, you know, I was talking to my friend Brooke Sparks the other day. She just did the Wounded Warriors in Action program, had them all come for their duck hunt, their fishing and everything like that. And she's also the proud owner of Coast Realty in Nags Head. She would love to help manage your property, to get you in a home, whatever the case may be. So let's hear a little bit about Coast Realty.
Coast Realty in Nags Head is your full-service vacation rental management company where guests become family. Born and raised in the Outer Banks, Brooke Sparks and Heather Cater bring over 40 years of combined property management experience to the table and are known to go above and beyond to ensure that your beach vacation will never be forgotten. When you choose to book your vacation with Coast Realty, you are choosing to work with the best local experts. Whether it's a simple getaway for just the two of you or the whole family, Coast Realty can easily accommodate. To see their properties and to book your piece of paradise, go online to coastrealtync.com. Coast Realty, we do the hard work so you can coast.
Yes, Brooke and Heather would love to go to work for you. CoastRealtyNC.com. All right, let's jump into those shout outs. And again, if you are a listener of the podcast and you have a question, you're not crazy about something I talk about, you're not crazy about the way I do things, you got a complaint, you love the show, you want to know more about something, email me, Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com, Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. I want to shout out to Blake and Brett Houston of Houston Heating and Air. Something that happened when this snow decided to fall, which is another reason why I don't like snow, is the temperature in my house decided it didn't want to stay at the 68 degrees that we normally keep it at in the wintertime, okay? It decided overnight when the snow was falling to drop to approximately 59 degrees. Not too terribly cold, but not exactly as warm as you would like for it to be in your home. So with that being said, and there was something going on with my HVAC system, reached out to Blake and Mr. Brett over at Houston Heating and Air, and they came through. Now, I had told them in the text, I said, look, I know we had some space heaters, so we were okay, but I told them, I was like, look, you know, I understand the road conditions can be rough. If y'all don't feel like coming out today, I totally get it. Well, let me tell you something. Within 30 minutes of me sending that text, here comes Mr. Blake, and he's like, Mr. Justin, I'm going to get you all squared away. So, man, that's my dude right there. Well, a couple had to jump through a couple hoops. Here comes Mr. Brett to look at a couple of things, and bada bing, bada boom, the heat started running, and we were good to go. So I appreciate them for coming out in such treacherous conditions to handle business. Blake and Brett, and Charlie Granger, he's another one of the employees of Houston Heating and Air, and I appreciate them so much. Seriously, like fantastic first-class folks. And they're pretty good at trivia, too. When I do trivia at Wanchese Marina, they show up and they blow up. They know their answers. They're pretty smart people. So love them so much. Thank you, Houston Heating and Air. Next shout out I want to give is one that I feel like doesn't happen as often as it should. And that is to the North Carolina Department of Transportation Highway Division, okay? They were out and about all week from, day in, day out. I was going to say sun up to sun down, but they went sun up to sun up. They were working 24 hours, keeping the roads clean, salting them, brining them, scraping them, repeat, salt, brine, scrape, repeat. It seemed like they were gone. I mean, their trucks were everywhere, and I appreciate the heck out of them for being out there trying to keep the roads open for the traveling public. They're wonderful folks at NCDOT. Mark Galinsky, Jamie Wentz. Jamie Hines is a cop. Jamie Wentz, just a bunch of great guys over there that I think the world of, and they do a lot of good work, and they work very hard. So I appreciate them for being out and keeping the roads clear and keeping the traveling public safe so that they can move around the Outer Banks safely and efficiently with accountability and environmental sensitivity. I believe that's their mission statement at NCDOT. I used to know it at one point, but regardless, wonderful people, and I appreciate them for being out and about. All right, I got to pack up my stuff again. If you want to shout out, let me know. Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. I would love to give you one. Shoot me an email, Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. All right, we're going to jump into... Well, actually, I'm going to pack up my stuff. I'm going to head on over to Manteo Middle School to talk with Coach Zach Alexander, who is the coach of Manteo High School's varsity baseball team, about some different events and things coming up for him this spring that you may want to participate in to show some love to our local schools. As you know, I always say love on your local schools and the kids there because they are our future of our communities. And if without them, the communities will crumble and fail. So please show them that love, and I'm going to go do that right now. But before I do, hey, I got to shout out right now to my guy Clint Godwin over at Farm Bureau in Manteo. New to the scene here on the Outer Banks, and he is wonderful. I just got my very own insurance policy, life insurance. Yeah, I'm old now, y'all. I'm old. Life insurance. Can you believe it? Gosh. Well, it's to keep my kids safe, keep my wife, everybody's secure, I guess, not safe, but secure in if something were to happen to me. And I'm glad that Farm Bureau in Manteo was able to do that for me and Clint Godwin. So let's hear a word from Farm Bureau right here in Manteo. Clint Godwin, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in Manteo, can help you find the right insurance coverage for your needs. Whether it be home, car, life, or health insurance, Clint will go to work for you to make sure that you're well taken care of. Trust me, I know from personal experience. Call Clint today at 473-2119 or swing by and pay him a visit at his office in Manteo. He'd love to see you. Clint Godwin, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent that's ready to go to work for you. All right, I said that I was going to run over to the middle school. Well, here I am. I'm at Manteo Middle School, and I'm sitting with Coach Alexander. He's the coach of the Manteo High School varsity baseball team, but he just happens to be employed at the middle school. A PE coach, athletic director. Actually, you were teacher of the year. Is that right?
I was.
Okay. Now you've heard Coach Alexander talk before. When I did the Coach Ball Game podcast where Coach Ball Game was coming into town, he was one of those that spoke about Coach Ball Game and everything that was going to be going on at the field. But today we're here to talk about, I need to know a little bit more about this teacher of the year sitting across from me. And I also need to know what's in store for Manteo High School baseball 2025, man. 2025. What's going on, man? How are you today?
I'm well. It's crazy. It's 2025 already.
That's what I mean. And
we're a couple of days from February, which is always the first day of practice. So we're looking forward to that. February 12th is the first day.
Okay. Yeah, you're not far from that at all.
We've been going at it pretty good at workouts. So we got about, I guess, 3 more weeks before we get going full force ahead.
Okay.
But we've had about 17 to 19 guys at every practice right now. So essentially, come day one, with straight inter squad right away. So
dude, that's killer.
That's going to be really good for our guys.
I was talking to one of your players not long ago, and his brothers play basketball. And I was like, what are you doing nowadays? Man, I got to get ready for baseball season. I was like, all right, one of the Sawyer boys, Tanner. And I was like, well, so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be ahead of them. They're falling behind out there, dribbling the ball, or you know what I mean, just talking trash about it. You know how brothers are. But Coach, let me hear a little bit about you. Now, I mean, when I played at Manteo High School, I had a coach named Tim Stemmel, and then I had a coach named Kenny Meekins, and then it's like, there was Alfie Wheeler was out there for a little while, and then all of a sudden this guy, Coach Alexander, shows up. Now, where you come from? Talk to me a little bit about you.
Yes, I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Went to Kempsville High School. Played for a great head coach named Paul Shows, who actually went to Barton, but then it was called Atlantic Christian. And actually, small world he was teammates with Coach Meekins at Atlantic Christian as well.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
that's the baseball world for you, very small. After high school, I went to North Carolina Wesleyan in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Majored in elementary education. Minored in exercise science, so that's kind of where the PE portion comes from. Stayed there after I taught 1 year of fifth grade, and then I just realized I was kind of ready to get out of the classroom. I got a job offer to be the assistant coach at Wesleyan, so I got to go back to my alma mater and be an assistant.
Nice.
And then from there, moved to the recruiting coordinator position. So from 2013 to 2018, I was the recruiting coordinator at North Carolina Wesleyan.
Okay.
In my time there, I met this beautiful young lady named Carly Creef.
Okay, all right. I think I know
from Mans
her.
Harbor. And when it was all said and done and we were looking at different job options and different job openings, all the interviews I was getting, she just looked at me one day and said, I think I'm ready to go home. So...
And you followed.
And I like my marriage, so I followed.
There you go.
And the day we kind of agreed it was going to happen, I picked up the phone. I had known Alfie because I had recruited Manteo guys to Wesleyan, one in particular named Chris Day, who is now the athletic director at Southwest Edgecombe.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he was like, hey, just call Alfie. Reach out to Alfie. They're always looking for guys. And at the time, Trey Scott had just taken the JV job. So I got that fourth coaching stipend and started right there and just kept going and kept tracking along. And then COVID hit, and Coach Wheeler said, hey, I'm done. I'd like for you to take it, but you got to go meet with Mr. Luciano. So I sat in the office for about an hour and a half and with Miss Pritchard and Mr. Luciano, and next day they said you got the job. So
there you go.
Been going at it ever since.
Very nice, very nice. Well, you've been a nice addition to the Manteo baseball family. It's been fun to watch you at the games and everything like that. And I mean, heck, you even did some summer league coaching a few summers ago with the Scallywags.
Yeah.
It's just been fun to kind of watch you and to get to know you better throughout the last few years and everything. So
yes, sir.
What's on the outlook for Manteo baseball this year? You got some things going on.
I'm pumped about this year, man. We're bringing back the JV team. I say bringing back. We're finally at the number where we can have a JV team. We've always been borderline. Didn't have enough pitching or didn't have enough catching, and we've got three catchers now. One's a senior, and Mason McCord. He's been a huge leader with our young guys.
Okay,
helping developing our catchers, and then pitchers. We're young, but we got a bunch of them, and we got a bunch of lefties. So
nice.
You can always expect something good coming from that. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
But we officially start. First official day by the North Carolina High School Association is February 12th. So that weekend, we always play a scrimmage. And this year, again, we're going to play against the law enforcement team. So the Blue Line crew.
The Blue Line crew.
There's Coach Meekin's son himself is.
Yes, that's correct.
Works for law enforcement. So him and Mr. Godfrey, which is the father, we have brothers on our team as well, that Mr. Godfrey, him and Hunter kind of put it together. Put this team together, and it's a lot of Manteo alums, to be honest with you. So it covers that. I mean, I'm sure some of the recent graduates kind of want an alumni game back. So this is kind of that movement towards that. So
what about some of the more older graduates? 20 plus years. Like, could they?
They're more than welcome
put a glove
to.
On and
they're more than welcome to.
If you get to that point.
Yeah, we might have to wrap you in some bubble wrap with some of the
all right.
Some of the young arms we might throw up there.
Guy.
They can't find a strike zone as well. So we might have to wrap you in bubble wrap just to keep you safe so your wives don't get too upset with you when you're down for the count for about a week.
I hear you. Okay, all right. Funny guy over here. Anyway, so young squad, you got that Blue Line group. Barrera. I think about Barrera a lot of times.
He loves coming to chuck it in it.
He was a hot ticket item back in the day, and he could bring it. And I mean, he went to college and pitched for a while there, and he did all right. That was my attraction when you did the game last year.
Right,
was coming. I was like, let's see if Sean can still wing it, and he did all right. He did pretty good.
He did. But it was actually a really close game last year. I think it ended up being we stopped it at a tie just because we're trying to limit our pitch count at that point.
Of course.
So running arms in and out, and I think once we ran through the whole arsenal, I think the guy who was catching for the law enforcement was ready to be done too.
Ready to be done. Yeah. See, like I was just, I don't believe we were able to stay for the whole game last year. We had to, because I think it was the same day as Skills Day for Dare County baseball. Yep. So we started there and ended at Westgate Park.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so getting your crew put together, you're going to be doing your scrimmage game. You got some other things that are coming up, as far as things to help benefit the team and everything like that. Talk to me a little bit about some of those things.
Yeah, so not just benefit our team, but benefit the community as well.
Right, yeah, okay.
A big part of my philosophy, I'm going to say, is spending a lot of time at the Little League level. I think that's where you continue to build that interest, continue to show face, and not my face, our guys' faces.
Of course, yeah.
I think the presentation of our guys and showing I was in your shoes at one time too has upped the numbers, I think, with our program. COVID kind of demolished our numbers a little bit. We had a lot of guys graduating high school early and just choosing to go into the job force sooner. So trying to build those numbers back, it's been a climb, and we're at 26 this year, so that's exciting. So what we're going to do is, instead of our black and gold scrimmage, we're going to do a black and gold day. So we are going to enter squad. It's going to be very modified, very scripted to what my coaching staff feels like we need to accomplish before, because we play the following Monday as opening day. So it's a big turnaround, or a quick turnaround. So what we're going to do is a black and gold day. So it's going to be open from 10 to 3. So from 10 to about 12:30.
What's the date of this thing?
Oh, sorry, February 22nd.
February 22nd.
Yeah, mark your calendars. February 22nd from 10 to 3.
Is that
It's a Saturday.
Saturday, okay.
Yeah. So from about 10 till about 12:30, 1 o'clock, our guys are going to be practicing / running this scripted scrimmage.
Okay.
So like 4 batters will make an inning. We're not necessarily going to go by outs.
Right, yeah.
Just stuff like that. So our community members can come see our guys and be amped for what's coming up, because we play the next Saturday at home. We play the next Friday at home.
Okay.
So to try to build that come out and see us mentality. And then from basically the latter part of the day, well, the whole time there's going to be face paintings. We're working on getting a bounce house, cotton candy, all the fun stuff for kids to be out there. But the last kind of hour and a half, 2 hours, our guys are going to be walking around running those stations, messing with those stations so that they can be around the youth in our program.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I love your mentality there of talking, having the kids or the players actually be the ones that running these camps and being involved with the lower level baseball teams and everything, and showing these kids that, like you said, I was in your shoes once, and having them involved with these little stations with the bounce house and other stuff. And it just adds to it, man. I love that thought process.
It's been awesome because our guys have really taken ownership of it. It's really become a player-led team. I've been able to kind of take a back seat, and I still got to do my job, obviously. But watching, and I use Mason as an example. I was a catcher growing up, so I have a infatuation with catchers. But like watching Mason, and I have a new coach, Zach Doss, who who was my assistant for Scallywags.
That guy.
He called me. He was a GA at Shepherd last year. But we stayed in touch a lot during the last year. And he said, Coach, when I'm done with college baseball, I'm coming to be with you. And I was like, cool, let's go. And I'm glad I got that phone call as soon as he did. Because he's been tremendous with our catching staff. It's allowed me to work with our infielders more. Coach Seth Brown will be back this year, so he'll have outfielders by himself. Coach Meekins will have the pitchers. So it's the first time since I've been here we've had a full staff, and our players are getting more attention because of it. And with that being said, if we have to have a side eye on someone, there's an older guy that's taken over a leadership role with a younger kid and really taking ownership of the skill and what the expectations are. I say our clubhouse is the best because our guys just hold each other accountable in there.
Wonderful. It's great. And I mean, and they're definitely great role models to the kids around here. I'll tell you that. I mean, I'll shout out to the Sawyer brothers. My oldest is 10, and he looks at them like they're Greek gods. You know what I mean? And it's like in just how they're involved, and like they'll talk to the kids and everything like that, and participate and encourage and everything like that. It's very heartwarming, especially with with younger children.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had 3 all-conference performers last year, and they're all back. Our shortstop hopefully he's had a foot injury with basketball, but he's trending on the right direction to be healthy for the year. We didn't have him the last, really, third of the year.
Wow.
So having him back. And then, obviously, we played a lot of freshmen last year, and they stepped up huge, and they've continued to grow. The weight room has become a huge importance to them, which is high on my priority list, too. So they've bought into that part, and how they're kind of reaping the benefits of it.
Don't forsake the weight room. A lot of people, I remember a quote. I thought people that went to the weight room were wimps. You know who said that? Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson said, he's like, to me, lifting weights was for wimps. And I was like, dude, no, don't. The weight room is a very important part. I mean, it not only does it help you get stronger, but it can help with injury prevention, I mean, there's so many different elements to the weight room
the mentality of failure.
Yeah, like
when you have 225 pounds coming down on your chest, and all of a sudden
you got to put it back up.
You got to get it back.
Yeah,
and get it back quick. So
that's true. Well, Coach, I'm really excited about the season. I know, personally, I enjoy going out to the ball field when I get a chance. I'm really excited for, the future of Manteo baseball. And I know, the middle school level, they're doing a lot of great things down here, too, from what I understand. I heard that through the grapevine. That there's, the coach at the middle school is actually pretty rad, too. He's sitting in the room with us. He's just off mic. What's up, Levi? But I mean, and it's nice, and that's also another thing I believe that plays into your benefit is like, you having being employed at the middle school currently, you can kind of see what's going on with the players here. You've already got an eye on them. Y'all look, you're sitting 5 feet from each other right now, so like it's nice to see it. It's nice to see the camaraderie and how y'all work with each other and see how things are going at the different levels. So
yeah, Levi was the one that helped me get to the middle school. Him and my wife were in every class together, and every
Levi,
yearbook.
You want to say a few words on the mic? He's pushing his chair back.
Just to get him down here in PE, he had to agree to coach middle school boys basketball. So, but he agreed to do it. He did it for a year, and he's in PE now, so it worked out.
That is true.
Well,
Coach Curls was the AD, and I was teaching math, and him and the principal came to me one day and said, "We'll move you to PE, but you got to coach boys basketball this year."
Okay.
Then something happened with the assistant coach, so Coach Curls ended up helping me, and
very nice.
We battled through it.
Very nice. Well, let me ask you this now. Anybody wants to, follow Manteo baseball, they want to, check out your schedule, see how they can come to the games and all that other fun stuff. Well, what are your handles on social media? Where can they find this stuff online if they don't have social media?
So obviously, just go to Max Preps would be the non-social media way.
Okay.
The schedule gets updated. The schedule's already set on there, and then any rainouts, barring any, pray to the Lord there isn't any, then that'll show up there. And then our Manteo Baseball Instagram account is Manteo_baseball.
Okay.
So at Manteo_baseball. And then our Twitter account is at capital M Manteo, capital B baseball.
Got it. Okay, cool deal. I know I follow you on the gram, and like y'all posted up the your schedule. I screenshot it and I got it saved in my phone now, and I just haven't gone through and added it to every one of my calendars yet because I enjoy getting out to the ball field as often as I can, and my family, anytime we get a chance to go to the ball field is a good day.
Yeah, and then we be on the lookout for that. Like I said, we play that doubleheader on Saturday, March 1st against American Leadership out of Johnston County and Hatteras.
Okay.
So the guy that coaches the American Leadership team played for the Hatteras head coach when he was in Johnston County.
Oh, no kidding.
So there's a little relationship there, and then we played him last year, and it was just guys that are like-minded that just want to get together and play.
Right.
Good. So we'll be breaking out the new uniforms for the first time on March 1st. So
nice.
Head to our Instagram page and check that out. Coach Dawson did all the editing, so...
Now, the schedule of events and everything that you're talking about on February 22nd, it's also going to be...
It's going to be on Instagram.
Okay.
Also, our Home Run Club has been posting some stuff, too.
Very nice.
Be on the lookout for that. They're on Facebook. We got to redo our Manteo Baseball Facebook page, but our Home Run Club's Facebook page is up and running.
Excellent. Good deal. Well, Coach, I appreciate you, being on the show with me today. I'm glad to be able to help you, push some of these things along and help promote this stuff for you, man. I mean, being alum and playing at Manteo High School is a little bit more personal for me. So I'm glad that I was very tickled when you reached out. I was like, hey, man, like, you help me out? I was like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's party.
We'll have to...
That's just school.
Day in the life.
That's a day in the life at the school.
We'll have to collaborate and get something going where we can get some guys on and talk about their viewpoint of the program.
I would love to do that.
Especially the senior group. This senior group's special, man. Coach Curls will tell you they battled through the COVID time where their 7th grade season was cut short because of COVID. Their 8th grade season was awkward because of COVID. And it was in the fall and split between Thanksgiving. And
that's right.
They just stuck it out, man. They grinded through it, and then they all played as freshmen. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, they got their tails kicked a lot. And I just challenged them. I challenge them every day, get 1% better. And our challenge overall was get just 3 games better every year.
Right.
And got to the state playoffs last year. Lost a 1-0 tough 1-0 game that I think has left a bitter taste in their mouth, and that's kind of helped them hold the younger kids accountable. And this is a special group, and
nice.
It's been a fun ride, and I can't wait to see what's going forward. So.
I can't wait to watch. Well, I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you again. Manteo High School baseball on the up and up. If you end up on their schedule or they end up at your field or vice versa, I mean, you in for a fight. Just letting you know.
That's the truth.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Attention Outer Banks homeowners, are you managing your vacation rental or just trying to survive a circus? At Seaside Vacations, we juggle the hassles for you. Forget the headaches and enjoy competitive rental income while we handle everything. Guest inquiries, marketing, maintenance, you name it. Think of us as your vacation rental superhero, swooping in to save the day while you kick back with a drink. Want to keep your property thriving and your sanity intact? Partner with Seaside Vacations. It's simple, superior service with a side of fun. Dive into hassle-free management at OuterBanksVacations.com.
Being healthy, a goal everyone should have for themselves, and at the Outer Banks Sports Club in Nags Head, it's a goal they take very seriously. Their mission is to help people from all walks of life achieve their personal health and fitness goals. Whether it be to lose weight, get stronger, increase speed and agility, or simply to improve your overall physical and mental health, the Outer Banks Sports Club is the gym for you. They offer the largest and best selection of fitness equipment throughout the Outer Banks, suitable for beginners through top-notch athletes. Visit them online at obxsportsclub.com to see their facility and to get signed up. The Outer Banks Sports Club in Nags Head, proudly keeping the OBX healthy and strong for over 15 years. All right. Yes. Hey, listen, one thing that a lot of people scream about, but they never want to do anything about is, oh, I'm so fat. Oh, I'm not as strong as I used to be. Listen, over at the sports club, my guy Manny would love to help you achieve those goals that you want. I mean, get that body back. Hey, summertime will be here before you know it. And you want to look good in that bikini. I'm trying to make sure I look good in my bikini. So you can do it over at the sports club in Nags Head. Please check them out. Go in there, pay them a visit, look at the facilities, look at the complex. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. All right, we're going to jump into some events. And again, all the events that I mentioned and more can be found online at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. I always say it, like I just talked with Coach Alexander, always support your local high school and middle school athletics, whether it be wrestling, basketball, swimming. These are the things that are taking place right now. We got baseball, softball season, track. What else? Women's soccer is coming up. I mean, there's lots of things that are going to be coming up in the spring that you need to show the love and support to. So I hope and pray that you will. Oh, gosh, trivia nights, live music across the board, karaoke nights, they're all over the place right now. There's not many places you can't go where they're not having one of those three things, if not more of those things happening. So keep that in mind as you maneuver about the Outer Banks. And again, all these things can be found at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. It's not too late to get your tickets for the Dare Education Foundation signature event. I'm going to have Macy and Kara tell you a little bit more about that here in just a few moments. It's at 108 Budley this coming Friday, the 31st day of January in the year of our Lord 2025. So get your tickets now online at dareeducationfoundation.org. Trivia nights. Hey, I got to mention my own trivia night. I do one at McGrath's Burger Shack every Wednesday night starting at 6. It's guaranteed to be a good time. Why is that, you ask? Because I'm there and I like to party. So come party with me Wednesday night, 6 o'clock at McGrath's Burger Shack in Nags Head in the Outer Banks Mall. Trivia night at Wanchie's Marine on Friday nights is starting at 6:30. That's with me as well. Except for this Friday. This Friday, Moose is going to be there. And if you don't know who Moose is, just go find out who Moose is. Moose will be there filling in for me this Friday, but Fridays after that, it's me, okay? And I like to party. Again, it's kind of repeating what I've already said. You want to party? Come party with me on Wednesday night or Friday night for trivia. Wednesday night, McGrath's Burger Shack. Friday night, Wanchie's Marina, 4457 Mill Landing Road, starting at 6:30 in the evening. Oh, let's see here. Oh, coming up. Hey, look, so McGrath's is actually speaking to them, they're doing a chili cook-off. I do want to mention this. It's coming up on Sunday, February 16th, a little bit down the road, but it's still happening nonetheless. It's to benefit the Brown family that lost their home in Wanchie's just a few weeks ago. It's going to be, again, Sunday, February 16th. You can go to McGrath Burger Shack's Facebook page for more information on that, how you can participate, what you can do to be there, everything like that. I'll be out there, so it's going to be a good time. You know it. Like I said, I love to party. Let's come over to the website real quick and see what we've got coming up. I can tell you that tomorrow afternoon, Friday, January 31st at 2 o'clock is the resin art class. Artsy Octopus just joined the Outer Banks This Week family. They bought a marketing interface not long ago. So Artsy Octopus in Nags Head. How do you describe? They're like Mapo 16 and a half on the beach road, close to Cahoon's Market. Right in that area. They got a nice sign outside. They got a van a lot of times out there that has their signage on the side. But that's Artsy Octopus. Got a lot of neat stuff in there. Lots of neat stuff. Oh, let's see. Live music at Lost Colony Tavern this coming Friday. There's also, what's going on? Oh, musical bingo on Saturday at Lost Colony Tavern. Bill and Friends, here we go. Saturday, February 1st, starting at 6:30 at New Vines, right underneath of my office. Bill and Friends are going to be there. Bill Downing, he's an entertainer, and I guarantee you'll be entertained that night. Fantastic, fantastic person. Looking a little bit down the line. Let's go on into next week, February 4th. I'm not seeing a whole lot crack-a-lack in there that's jumping off the page at me. Of course, you got my trivia night next Wednesday, February 5th at McGrath's Burger Shack. But hey, if you're in Manteo and you don't feel like coming across the bridge, check out my man, Troy Tugwell. Troy Via. He's doing his own trivia at Lost Colony Tavern Wednesday, February 5th. Starts at 7 o'clock, it looks like. But Troy, dude, he's a freaking riot. I probably shouldn't let him play anymore, but he actually came down and won trivia at my trivia night last Friday at Wanchese Marina. But you know what, dude? I'm telling you that he is a first-class guy. He's funny as all get out. Personality, just a wonderful dude. And he loves on this community. Like, he goes and shows up for people, you know? If you ask him to participate, man, he's there. He's just an all-around. He's like the Mr. Congeniality. It's something like that. Anyway, Troy's a great guy, and I appreciate his friendship. And he supports me, and I want to try to go and try to support him. It's just hard on a Wednesday night because I got McGrath's Burger Shack trivia night, but he's a great guy. So if you get an opportunity, go and check him out over at Lost Colony Tavern on Wednesday nights as well. Come see me, but go see him too. Let's see. Coming up on a little further, there's karaoke night at the tavern. I'll tell you. Trivia night going on over at Outer Banks Brewing Station on Thursday night. Next Friday, February 7th. Let's take a look. We'll be back in Wanchese Marina for trivia. I'll be there. There's going to be live music at the tavern. NC Coast. Okay, we're getting closer to Valentine's Day as we get further into February. And it appears as if NC Coast is going to be having a Galentine's brunch. NC Coast Grill and Bar and Duck is going to be having a Galentine's brunch. It's going to start at 11 a.m. They're going to do one on the February 8th and the 15th. It's going to go from 11 until 3. It's $48. You're going to need to RSVP, though, is what I'm reading here. 252-455-1791. It's going to be tastefully decorated by Pretty Little Things. So there you go. That's something to think about. If you are up in the Duck area, go check that out. NC Coast Grill and Bar. And it's $48 for the Galentine's brunch. They're doing it February 8th and then again on the 15th. So if you don't get in there on the 8th, you can probably get in there on the 15th. Maybe. You got to call, though. You got to make sure you call. Not seeing a whole lot is really jumping out at me, but again, there's lots of different things. Shark exhibit tours over at the aquarium. There's children's theater at the Theater of Dare. Some things going on in Ocracoke, ukulele and guitar. What is this? With Lou Castro. So if you're down in there, that's coming up on Thursday. Oh, no. Let me see the date for this. Thursday, February 6th and Thursday, February 13th. He's there from 9:30 in the morning until 10:30 in the morning. There you go. That'll be a lot of fun. Shipwrecks is doing some things. Again, go online to OuterBanksThisWeek.com. Check out all the events in their entirety. It might be look a little scary, a little slim right now. And, it's just that time of the year. There's things happening. You just got to go get them. Go be a part of them. So keep that in mind as you go plan your weeks and everything like that. Try to show love to these local restaurants, these local businesses. Keep them going throughout the wintertime. It's the best thing you can do for the economy around here is to just continue to pour into them as much as you can. I'm not saying go spend your entire paycheck. I'm just saying, if you got an opportunity to go and show some love to some of these other places, these businesses that are open throughout the wintertime here to give you something to do and keep you entertained, please do so. Please do so. They could easily close and be fine, but you know what? They stay open for you. So keep that in mind. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up here in just a few moments. But as I said just a moment ago, I'm going to allow Macy and Kara to tell you one more time about the Dare Education Foundation signature event at 108 Budley, Friday, January 31st.
Back by popular demand, the Dare Education Foundation Dueling Pianos signature event presented by Town Bank, Friday, January 31st from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 108 Budley in downtown Manteo.
Dance the night away to the New York Dueling Pianos while supporting Dare County Schools.
With a live auction and buy it now auction, fantastic food, and tasty beverages, this is guaranteed to be the party to start the year off the right way.
Get your tickets now at dareeducationfoundation.org. All money raised goes back to our teachers and kids.
It's a ton of fun for a great cause on Friday, January 31st at the
Dare Education Foundation's Dueling Pianos signature event.
All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. I don't know that I forgot anything. I very well may have. Oh, it's hard to tell sometimes. If I did, let me know. Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. I want to thank Coach Zach Alexander for being on the show with me. And of course, you probably remember him, like I said, from being on the podcast when we had Coach Ballgame come and do a baseball clinic at Manteo High School. So I appreciate him for coming and being on the podcast and allowing me the opportunity to interview him yet again. Was such a fantastic dude right there. And he works so hard for the schools, the athletic programs and everything like that. So I appreciate him a lot. Next week, I'm going to be on the road to Hatteras. We're going to be talking to Mr. Woody and Miss Mary Ellen about Watermen's United. What is Watermen's United? Well, we're going to find out next week. It's a wonderful group that works hard to make sure that our fishermen can fish and move about the sounds and the oceans to continue to provide fresh local seafood for the people here on the Outer Banks. And you know, it's not just commercial fishing, it's sport fishing as well. They advocate for the fishermen here. We're going to talk more to them about that next week. But hey, it's wrapping up episode 100 of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. I appreciate all of you for listening, keeping things going. I appreciate all the sponsors that I've had over the time doing this podcast. It's been great. And if you want to be a sponsor of the podcast, I'd love to have you as a sponsor. Justin at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. Let's talk, and I can make that happen for you. All right, I'm out of here. Have yourself a great and wonderful rest of the week, and I'll see y'all again next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.
This has been another epic edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. Follow us on social media and be sure to listen every Thursday for a new episode.